Okay, hi again. So this is the third episode of Entrepreneur Tips. So I'm Simon. I hope you enjoyed the last two ones. The first one was about how to build your crystallized identity. The second one was about critical thinking. Okay, now I'll discuss about a broader subject. Okay, as you can see here, I am dressed informally. I'm not dressed in a shirt. And the reason for that is because it's one of the things that's changing today. I think a lot of companies have picked up on that. Like there's a lot of emphasis, particularly in the EU, on your dress code. I do think people have to be dress relevant to their job, but exactly because of that, there's many cases where people, I think, don't have to spend as much time to dress formally. They only see there's a whole discussion about this, about what's the right dress code. I've personally spent a lot of time working out, the different types of dress code, working out, casual, smart casual, business, casual business, and what's all the tricks of the trade for each. It's good learnings, but I think in the long run, they probably don't matter anymore unless you're really doing a business where you have to be dressed. So I'm dressed just for the occasion. I'm here in Luxembourg in a regular evening just to talk about career strategy is my topic. Okay, career strategy, and that's important for entrepreneurs because when you decide how you decide to become an entrepreneur is actually something that you do so from a very early age, and people don't realize that. Now, this idea actually was really well explained in a book by Robert Kiyosaki and Donald Trump. No, it's just Robert Kiyosaki actually. It's a popular book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and it's one of the books that is actually recommended for people who do their own startups. And why is this book so great? Okay, this book talks about the story of Robert is saying about that he had two fathers. Okay, and one father was the typical middle class father who studied at university and then followed a worker career. Okay, and his other dad became an entrepreneur, and because his parents were divorced, and that's why he had two dads, obviously, he would get advice from both of them, and he's comparing what advice he was getting from both of them. It's a brilliant book. I think everybody should read it. Okay, and here's some learnings around it. Okay, career strategy. Okay, when I talk about career strategy, I'm not talking about the choices that you make in your employed work as a worker. Okay, I'm talking about a level above that. It's the bigger decision that you're going to make, which is between whether you're going to enter the labor or the capital market. Okay, and what I want to emphasize first is that I think a lot of people really underestimate the importance of trying to do their own business and trying to become an entrepreneur. And the reason why they do that is because they don't know the benefits. Literally, they're not taught about the benefits, how different it is, how better it is. It's not only that they don't know how to do it, because you can kind of learn a lot of things about it, okay? But the idea is not even in their head in the first place. They don't value how much different it is about it, and you don't grow with it, okay? And again, this comes from Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which is basically saying this, and the book refers to the US, but interestingly, it's the same in probably all countries. It's definitely the same in Greece, okay? What the book says is that the decision for what path somebody to choose, whether they're going to go in the labor or capital market, is that this decision is actually made in most families on the dinner table. Okay, when people are teenagers, generally people are influenced by their parents, by their father and their mother. Okay, particularly their father. And they spend so little time discussing about such an important decision. They just have these quick chats. Okay, generally people follow what their parents tend to follow what their parents have done, what their father has done. And I think it's important that people learn to escape that route. You won't always do what your father did, because they don't always make the best decisions, even their fathers. It's important for a person to realize they may have to break out of that, okay? Generally, okay, things also pointed out in the book, and generally how the world works is, okay, we have to think first of all social classes, okay? In every country there's social classes, okay, it's inevitable. You have low class, middle class, high class, okay? And generally the most people tend to be in the middle class, and the middle class fathers trick. Okay, every father obviously wants the best for their children and wants to teach them the best advice for how to succeed in their life, which usually they tend to make it their own, make their children do their own plan, because they think, well, I succeeded, so you do the same, which is not right, okay? Not doing the same thing as their fathers did is not wrong, okay? It's just different, carries completely different risks. You don't know until you've done it. It's a different thing. Other people have done it, okay? So the middle fathers trick to cheat the system. How they're going to beat the system to ensure that their children will get the best is they think, okay, you get a university degree, you go to a good university, maybe you'll do a master's degree as well, okay? And then you'll get into a job where it has good benefits, okay? And that's how you're going to live. And what's been found from this strategy is that it just doesn't work well, okay? In the long term, when you achieve it, you just don't get enough money back, and a lot of people after a few years they're left without enough money, and they still have to rely on benefits, and they don't succeed. So all the plan goes to the bin. It's not actually as risk-free as people present it, okay? That's one. And then most of all, you're always a worker. You're always a worker, and you don't realize that if you're around other workers that you never escape from there. You work for somebody and you provide, okay, labor service. Okay, you provide services. As long as you work, you provide physical services. Even if you are a technical person, okay, a specialized person, you're still providing services to somebody, and you get back as long as you provide the services. You get paid as long as you do them, but you don't actually own anything. So when you stop working, you don't get paid anymore, and it's always a standard rate generally, okay, and that just doesn't get you very far. Whereas if you have a business, okay, it's a completely new world. You have capital. A business is capital, and not only does it make money, it doesn't always make money in a steady way. It goes up and down. There's all sorts of financial implications of a business and many other reasons why you can make money in more than one way. So you can increase your money in multiples and multiples and multiples of times that you would if you did it alone, okay, if you just worked as a worker. You have a higher prestige, okay, in society, because basically a business provides the infrastructure of the society where people go and work. It provides what people do, okay. It gives people things to do, okay, in order to make the world run. So it's so significantly more important, and people spend so little time to discuss this, and make it clear to themselves that, it's actually a good choice to become a business. Yes, you might see some risks and so on, but you look at what you're facing here, and you don't learn that from a middle class father, okay? That's one. Okay, the second thing is, as I said, you have to break out, because most people are born into middle class families, low class families, and you have to break out, okay? You're not going to do what your father did usually if you're going to escape. So how do you do that? Well, basically, okay, you have to look at what other people do. Generally, high class people are a good example, okay? I've been spending a lot of time seeing what's happening in the US, and the reason is, okay, Greece has 3 social classes as well, but the low class is big, the middle class is also big, the high class is small, okay, with few people, and they have little money. Now consider the US, okay, the US has even classes inside the high class, and the totality of it is even bigger than the Greek one, okay? The whole of Greece is bigger than the high class. So if you want to find out more information, see how those people think, see how do they approach life. Generally, I'll say what they do is they think more practically, more pragmatically, and they look down on the worker market. What they want is to be in the capital market. Well, I hope you enjoy this video. I'll come back with more. See you soon.